Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely stream deck. For more information about the stream deck, the link is in the description below.
Howdy, everybody, and welcome to the AOR F1 Americas League. I am Austin Knight. I am joined by Ninja Ryder. Ninja, how are you doing?
I am feeling, patriotic and stuff.
USA, USA, USA.
I almost cursed. That's not good. Does that need any other intro?
No, it doesn't. That could have just been the stream, just that. No, but you guys are here for one awesome battle at our home track of Circuit of the Americas here in Austin, Texas. I live just 2 hours down the road, and it's gonna be a blast, ladies and gentlemen. The battle for the championship between ACR Raven and some idiot is still hot on its track, and it will not be decided here because they are separated by only 20 points.
That's right, yeah, and it all comes down to really if some idiot can figure out what is going on with himself right now. ACR Raven has found a ton of speed, and some idiot just has not been able to catch him, but both of them here at their home track looking to have a fantastic performance. I expect big battles all the way around.
Big battles, yes indeed. And speaking of all the way around, let's take you all the way around on a AOR hot lap of Circuit of the Americas, actually commentated by American for once, aka me. Yay.
Hey, I did it once.
Hey. Yeah, I know, you did it once. I came in for this year. Anyway, let's go into this let's go into this hot lap. Howdy, everyone. My name is Austin Knight, and we are on board with Formula Danny here at the wonderful Circuit of the Americas. First corner is up this massive hill. I sometimes call him Phil. Hard on the brakes and into the apex, and then immediately onto the throttle and down through turn 2. Under the bridge and into the American S's of 3, 4, and 5. Turn 6 is a long right-hander. Keep those revs up because it sets you up for the sharp left-hander of turn 7. Up the hill and to the right of turn 8, and then across the blind turn 9. Blinking, you'll miss it. Here's turn 10. Down this little short chute we go. Up into turn 11. Hard on the brakes, slamming it into the apex. And then immediately onto the throttle and down this over half a mile. Back straight. Taking these wonderful Texas views. Sinking in. Best place on earth. But wait. Harder on the brakes. It's turn 12. Flip that apex and enter the arena. It's turn 13. Bunch of slow corners in here. Make your moves right. Turn 14. Clip the apex at turn 15. Wide entry. Hard on the brakes. Turn 16. Down and around the tower we must go of the multi-apex corner of turn 17 and 18. Say hello to the fans over on Toss Hill. Slamming into turn 19. Down this little short chute we go into the last corner. Keep it right. Keep it tight. It's turn 20 and across the line. And that is a lap around Circuit of the Americas. Thank you, Formula Danny, for that wonderful lap and that wonderful commentary. I don't know who that guy is. Do you know who that is? I don't know.
I don't know. He's just some guy.
Yeah, it's just some random dude.
Some random American.
Yeah.
We pulled him off the street. Yeah. Did a pretty good job, all things considered.
Yeah, he did.
All right.
He's not as good as us, though.
No. Would never say that.
Never say that.
Okay. Anyways, qualifying has started.
So enough lollygagging. Let's go on to COTA for qualifying.
Already, ACR Raven has taken the top spot. I was kind of giving him a look-see as the hot lap played, and yeah, he's looking super solid. Of course, Some Idiot right there behind him. Decently close, but I expect Some Idiot to close it up just a little bit here in the next few minutes, as he always does.
Yeah, Some Idiot and Raven both like to do this very weird strategy where they would do a lot of, as we have a yellow flag in all three sectors. Okay. As they like to go a lot of laps on the hardest tire and then at the very end punch it in on the tire that they want to do. But currently it's Raven leading off the field, followed by Some Idiot and Mikey in third.
Pretty good run from Mikey so far. He's on the Ultra Softs. Kind of wasn't expecting the Triton Knights showing up in fourth, though. Good stuff. We'll see if he'll be able to hold that.
Triton and the Haas, definitely going to be loving Haas Hill right there, aka turn 19. If you are a Haas fan and want to watch the race, that's where to watch it from. Trust me, I've been there.
I mean, you would know. I'm going to have to lean on your knowledge of that as the race wears on, of course. But Triton actually looking pretty good. I expect this one to be pretty much a screamer, although he is on the harder compound for the weekend.
And he's been on these tires for 3 laps, doing what Raven and Some Idiot like to do, where they just do a bunch of cider laps, and then at the end, he's going to go much faster. And that's kind of what we expect between these guys. So, oh, Triton! Very wide out of turn. He's in the gravel, and he's almost keeping out of the wall. Oh my goodness, Triton almost lost it out. Well, he did lose it out of turn 9. Flicked it through turn 10, and just his back end just slid all around. And I've been there before because I've actually driven this track in a Formula 4 car. And when the back end gets loose right there, you have no grip at all. So.
Been around this track many times in GT races, simulation, of course. Turn 10 can be kind of hairy, especially because you're on the gas coming out of turn 9, out of the S's, just trying to carry as much momentum going into the hairpin turn 11. Of course, you know this more than anyone, Austin. It's very hairy through there. Just trying to keep the car planted as much as possible and try not to get on the gas too much. And that's something that Triton's going to have to work on. This track does require consistency all the way throughout. And one little hiccup can lose you a good 2-3 seconds.
Yeah, I would say the only one spot you can kind of doze off is a bit on the back straight. I say a bit very lightly because you're going to have to start thinking like halfway down there, be like, okay, what's going on? Oh, yeah, racing. But usually in an actual race situation, you're looking at your fuel and all that stuff and anything you do to get past the guy in front of you or behind you.
DRS, whatever works, as long as you get past him in the braking area. Well, for you, yeah, but I'm talking in here.
Oh,
yeah, coming into turn 12 is going to be super important. Nailing that braking area perfectly will, of course, could get you a pass. I mean, could get you a great pass too, and just set you up nicely for the next complex of corners.
I completely forgot to reset I was experimenting with a few onboard assets for my own personal driving when I like to drive on this track, and I'm very much happy to say that it is not affecting this at all. I've found out I can move the bottom telemetry from the bottom right into the very middle now, so I don't have to keep looking all over to the left, to the right for my shifter lights.
You don't go off the steering wheel?
I don't have a steering wheel that does that. Well, I don't race in first person.
Oh, you don't? Oh, okay. Yeah, see, I do.
I'm a stickler for physics, and just seeing that middle bar really messes with me. Anyway, back onto...
Turn it off.
It just messes with me.
All right.
Anyway, back to qualifying and the subject at hand. We got Z3 Mikey absolutely destroying it in front of Haas Hill and turn 19 on these old-shot tires, but that's all 4 wheels off the track. That might have invalidated his lap. We will see as it comes. Oh, that's another all 4 wheels off. That is going to count, and he's in P2.
There is places here where you can extend the track. It doesn't necessarily speed you up, and that right there is the trick, of course, for this particular game, this particular simulation, I should say, is does it actually speed you up at all? Most of the time when you leave the track in the areas that cars do leave the track, it does not speed you up. So there probably won't be a whole lot of infractions unless people are actually cutting the inside of corners, as somebody's off there.
Is that Tezu? It was Tezu.
I think so, yeah.
What's Tezu doing? Well, he's being a lad and just letting everyone through, but I do have to say, at the exit of turn 9 and turn 10, if you go wide, you will receive a penalty. I know it's on the outside of the track, and usually if you're on the outside, you're just trying to regain yourself, but that is considered a penalty area. Let's go on board with Fluffy Dave. Fluffy Dave, I believe from New York, if what he's told me is correct, or what I've just seen from his airplane flight videos that he posts on YouTube. Very cool stuff if you've never actually been in a plane cockpit, which I believe most of us haven't.
Yeah, no, I'd fair to say I have not. And, you know, Dave's actually looking pretty good here.
Yeah, he is on a flyer on these super soft tires. Going a bit wide out of turn 17.
A little trail.
Is it nasty? I think that was nice and nasty in the same word.
We'll roll with it.
And that is nicety into P2.
That was nice and smooth.
Oh, nice and tasty is what I was going for.
Ah.
Not nasty. No, that's a Spurs reference. I need to put that on a shirt. Keep it nasty. Goodbye, biceps. On 0 ERS, and he's going to the pits. All right, thank you, and goodbye. How about a Campu? He's on 4 ERS, and I believe about to start his flyer of a lap right now in that McLaren. A Campu, one of our Argentinian drivers. And a fan favorite, honestly. He's been very good, especially in Japan. And just speaking of Japan, what a race that was last week.
Indeed.
Fun-filled, just fun all around, and that's in like my top 10 of races I've ever commentated, which is a lot of races.
I mean, I'd have to agree with you. Top 10 for sure. It was one of those classics that I think a lot of people just kind of overlooked. I mean, Suzuka is one of those tracks that it's a blast to drive, and when people are having fun, they will try things and see what happens. And that's what happened last week. This week, though, there are a lot of people who really just don't like COTA. And that's understandable. It's a tough track, don't get me wrong. But usually when people don't like tracks, they will practice the heck out of them just to get as best a finish as they can. And then suddenly it turns into a heck of a race, really. The problem is, though, that big lock up there by Ocampo. But the problem is that when people start to get uncomfortable, you'll start to see some mistakes. You'll maybe see a crash or two, and we're really hoping that that does not happen.
Yeah, we really hope that crashes do not happen, but knowing this track, they're bound to happen into turn 1. You might see a few people extending their ways throughout the track as the Ocampo stays in 8th, but as they go up Phil, it's a very sketchy area down there because it's so wide. The track is extremely wide. You can fit almost 6 cars wide on that track, and then it tightens up after the apex, and it's just so tricky to get all cars around. And I believe Raven is about to do a flyer as Fluffy Dave has retired from the session with 2 minutes 50 seconds to go. He's settled that in there, but as Raven's on the Supercells, I think it's time for us to show you some idiot takes pole.
Oh, hello.
Hi, some idiot. That's fast.
That is very... Oh, Raven!
We're having a battle
here we go.
Here we go. Right as I was about to say the pit strategy for this, which I'll do right now, why they're on the Super Softs instead of the Ultra Softs, is your pit strategy for the predictive pit stop strategy is start on the Super Soft tires and go around late 8 to 11 laps and switch over to the soft tires, which is what these guys are going to do. The soft tires last around 16 to 18 laps in case they're going for the reverse strategy. And that was your American pit stop strategy brought to you by America. Thanks, Dan.
That said, some idiot is making his way down the backstretch right now, trying to improve on the 131.338 that he did post. Gonna need about 4/10 to beat out Raven.
He's saving up on this lap right now. He's on 0 ERS.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, yes, he is.
He's going for one last banger of a time. And honestly, if I was some idiot, I would go full out right here. The championship battle is on. You're down by 20 points. Do whatever you can. He ups that thing up to 5, and we're going to have a shootout right here. I think Raven's going to go into pits, though, and not even try to defend it. But here we go, some idiot. Let's see what you got.
You mentioned turn 1 and the 5 wide right here. As it funnels down, we had an issue in RF2 at COTA a couple of weeks back. We had somebody come out of the pits and actually clip someone while they were trying to make their entrance into turn 1. Some idiot is railing his way through the S's.
He's already down on his time, cutting in by 0.039 seconds, so he's already up. He just has to keep his car on the track and inside the lines. And with the low fuel that he has going on right now, he definitely will be faster than his first time. But remember, he has to keep an eye on his fuel usage because he's not on the original fuel amount that he went out on.
Also, that back end's going to start to skitter around a little bit of a lockup there going into turn 12. And it's because this is America. We do not name our corners. They are simply numbers.
But we do name sections.
Sections, yes, of course.
This is the arena. And you'll see a lot of battling going on through here. All these slow corners, very hard to get the car right around here as somebody flames it through Haas Hill, which is the hill the spectators sit on. And somebody final corner. Let's see if this is pole. Booyah! There it is!
Oh, a 131 dead. You can't get closer than that.
Raven's coming across the line right now. He didn't go into the pits. Raven got speed 2. No improvement. Some idiot takes pole. Z3 Mikey jumps up into 4th place. Creamy Johns heads into the pits. That's like Kane Jr. also going into the pits. But it's some idiot taking pole on his last ditch effort. What a lap by somebody. A 131 dead on the super soft tires. That
national anthem starts playing in the background.
No, I don't have that one queued up.
Bald eagles start flying into the sky off of the Ferris wheel, of course.
That was the original. That was the opening.
Oh.
If you missed the opening,
go back and watch it.
Yeah, go back and watch that opening. That was after this. Like, just restart the stream and watch that part. It was awesome.
It was beautiful and glorious, and we might have to have all of the national anthems made now because they're just so good.
No, just the American one.
No. I mean, just the intro was so good.
Yeah, I know, but
I might be able to do something about that.
Yeah, we could, but the American one's the best. Anyway, the circuit of the Americas qualifying result, it is some idiot taking pole, followed by ACR Raven, Triton, Mikey, Creamy Johns, Fluffy Dave, Max KZR Racing, Tezu, Ocampu, followed by Goodbye Biceps, who's just changed his name to Goodbye. Bye, man. And 11th, it's Kane Jr., Notarium, Heineken, Lundquist Bro, Jonathan AI, Italy Force, Mancu, Intergalactic Gentleman, and I believe starting 19th will be Muddy Water.
Correct, yes. Actually, Intergalactic Gentleman has elected to sit out this race. He's going to be in the pits because he's the organizer. He has to be here. He is fighting off a pretty big fever, apparently. Poor guy.
Well, as these guys are spawning in. We'll be right back after these messages. Thank you, Hype Energy, for sponsoring all AOR F1 2018 leagues and races and streams. Also, shout out to Elgato Stream Deck. This stream is powered by Elgato Stream Deck, and AOR is powered by... All AOR streams are powered by Elgato Stream Deck. If you don't have one, get one. They're great.
They are fantastic.
And
I literally control cameras with my Stream Deck. And back when I was streaming this, controlled the stream with it. I did everything with it. It was beautiful and fantastic. And of course, the UI on the Stream Deck can turn any button into any color, any picture behind it. It doesn't matter. All you have to do is push the button and everything starts to happen.
Mine's a giant American flag.
Of course it is.
Yeah, why not? Why wouldn't it be?
Indeed.
I have a giant America button that just does that. Plays the national anthem too.
This doesn't surprise me one bit.
Yeah, it doesn't. It shouldn't. As a big contact is happening throughout the field, we usually see that in the formation lap. Don't worry, they will start the race. As we are looking throughout the field, it's Summit and Raven taking the first row, followed by Triton and Mikey in the second row. Third row, it is Creamy Johns and Fluffy Dave. In the fourth row, it is Max KZR Racing and Tezu. In the fifth row, it is Ocampo and Goodbye. Force India driver, chain, commentators or salesmen? Yes.
That's right, exactly. Exactly.
It's a good market, let's just say that. But yeah, Muddy Water is in this race. He started 19th out of everyone. Just came in a bit too late to the race, but he's in this race right now. But he did.
I should probably mention before you go too far with this, he did mention on the forum that he was running a little bit behind, had something come up, had to obviously deal with that. But it is good to see him in the race. He's going to have his work cut out for him, though.
As they are coming up back in front of the grid, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are hashtag AOR hyped, because I certainly am, because we're about to go racing here in this wonderful Lone Star State. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. Can I get a yeehaw? Because we're racing here in Texas.
Yeehaw, and already a penalty for Italy Force. Jumped the start a little bit, but it's a mad dash down to turn 1. Raven.
3 wide, they're bumping all over the place in the backfield. I'm sorry if I was a bit confused at the very start, because we had a person who was 6 places up at the start. That was Max KZR Racing, but as they go through the S's, everyone keeping it very clean, but they're going side by side at the front. Some idiot just leading off Raven. Raven under pressure by Triton and the Triton Knights. Definitely charging in, wanting to disrupt this battle at the front. As they come down this turn 10, look at the background, look at Creamy Johns going for the move. Creamy Johns and Z3 Mikey side by side on the exit. Who's going to have the better exit? Mikey has a slipstream. Creamy Johns had a better exit. Get this view from Fluffy Dave on his T-Game. Fluffy Dave giving on Creamy. Fluffy Dave down the inside of Creamy. Here we go. Fluffy Dave might get the jump on him. Yes, he does down the inside. What a move by Fluffy Dave.
Fluffy Dave had the slipstream through there. Creamy Johns electing to let him go. It's a good idea as Fluffy Dave goes just a little bit too far outside. He's going to keep it tight through here. Not the ideal line. He's going to lose some time. But Creamy Johns just not in a great spot to make a pass happen at that point as they come flying through the complex here.
That is brilliant defending by Fluffy Dave. I've seen that so many times at races in COTA where you go on the inside line, it depends on the guy going around the outside because you exit on his racing line. That just slams the door shut. You have to get hard on the brakes, and if you make a correction out of turn 16, you will go spinning. Trust me, because I've done that. A little bit real-life racing tactics here at COTA as Triton is following Raven through these American S's. There's actually a small bump in there that actually kicks the back of these cars out as Intergalactic Gentleman has retired for the session like you were saying at the start.
Yeah.
I'd say the biggest loser so far at the start has to be Max KZR Racing, who's dropped down 10 positions. I don't know if that's for you or me.
I'll check.
Where's Max for you? He's in 14th.
Max is in 14th, yeah.
Okay.
Must have had a huge problem at the start of the race.
Well, at the start of the race, it said he was up 6 places. So.
I guess it corrected timing and scoring correcting on us as we keep going here.
As Money Water, 5-second stop go penalty for ignoring yellow flags as our timing screen is doing something.
It's starting to catch up here. Muddy Waller jumped from the back of the field to 11th. He had a massive jump there, but he's going to have to take that stop go when he comes into the pit.
Oh, but he makes contact, heavy contact with Lundqvist Bros side by side in turn 16. Lundqvist Bros on the inside, Muddy Waters on the outside, and exactly what I said. They went side by side, and boom, massive collision. Also saw Lundqvist Bro going extremely wide out of there.
A lot of people going wide.
Yeah. Whoa. Muddy Water losing the back end around turn 20 as some idiot and Raven were setting fastest lap after fastest lap. And that battle is separating at the start. But we've seen this at the start of the race where everyone's just separated between these two and they just let the chaos happen. But when they go into the pits, that's when the real battle happens. We're on board with Heineken, battling with Goodbye for P8. Red Bull versus Force India. Force India hanging around the outside of turn 9. That's not a place where they want to be. There's no grip out there. So we're heading into turn 11, hairpin. Heineken is trying to find anything that he does. Now, he does have DRS, and this is where it could get flying right here. So let's watch this drafting drag race battle here in Texas. Here he goes. Heineken sending up the inside. Hard on the brakes. Bit of a lockup. But look at Goodbye. Trying to hold it around the outside, but no. It's going to be Heineken for P8.
Absolutely no grip on the outside right there. You get on the rumble strips, you just lose all that forward momentum as you're trying to generate some sort of defense. But Goodbye down to 9th. Not a bad spot for him at the moment, but I'm sure he'll be wanting that one back after Heineken passed him just now.
Yeah, Goodbye still up on his qualified position of P10.
What? Wait a minute.
Triton. And the Triton Knights setting in the new fastest lap. I believe Raven or some idiot might have been in a track extending thing and made it invalidated to the lap. But speaking of Raven and some idiot, they're battling head to toe right now, and I don't want to leave this battle because, you know, when I said that they were battling, that they kind of take things slow, they are not taking this one slow. They're going, they're shaking each other's chains. Trying to find the right words for that. Raven, bit of a walk.
I thought you were going to say shaking each other's trees, and I was like, huh. Classic rock reference. Okay.
I realized I could have done that, and darn.
All I know is at this point, it looks like Triton is right there as Raven takes a look on the inside, but some idiot has that braking point absolutely nailed down. Raven's super quick. He's usually a lot faster through these. Is there a bit of contact?
Yes, there was. Raven's front wing actually tapped the back end of some idiot. Luckily, there was no damage from there, but Raven absolutely just wanting to go at it and fight with some idiot as hard as he can.
I don't blame him. Wants to secure that championship lead.
Well, he's already
He's got to be careful, though. I mean, you got to get through. You have to just get through the race. I mean, even taking second place is just fine. It will gain some ground for some idiot, but he'll still have the lead retained.
It will be a 12-point championship fight between them as they go into Mexico if they finish right now. But some idiot goes wide, and Raven dies it up around the outside of turn 2. They're side by side heading into the American S's. Raven's got the inside. Now somebody's got the inside. Now Raven's got the inside. But somebody is forced out wide. But Raven forces out Triton wide. What is going on here?
Triton got a little bit greedy. He needed to stay back behind that battle and just let them duke it out. Punches being thrown by Raven and some idiot, but Triton is still right there keeping him honest.
I have never seen side by side through the S's, and I've seen a lot of races through there.
Oh man, you need to watch some endurance racing, man. It gets way hairy, especially GT and P2, but this is on another level. These guys are absolutely on rails.
Well, I was talking about real life.
Fair enough.
Raven side by side coming down the back, straight over half a mile long, and at the very end, Raven locks up just a little bit, but somebody trying to hold it around the outside. Side by side into the arena they go. Raven's absolutely overcooking those tires, and somebody gets a better exit on the inside. Now Raven's got the inside of turn 15 heading into turn 16. Remember what I said, they make contact, they're banging wheels. Into the multi-apex corner they go, still side by side. Raven trying to hold around the outside, but somebody holding on the inside, and it's going to be some idiot retaining the lead, and I am lightheaded.
I can only imagine underneath their race helmets are huge grins. Those grins that kids get when they know they're doing something that they're not supposed to do, and that's plastered on their faces. I can definitely see that. Now, Triton is right there, keeping them all honest as Raven goes to the inside here, turn 1. This is a great place. It just nails that apex perfectly. Bit of a touch here, and they're going to go side by side through the S's again.
Oh my goodness, not this again. Come on, kids, come on. But it's going to be Raven taking the... Raven's getting a little bit squirrely on the exits of them, but as they go through turn 6, it's going to be Raven taking the lead. But look at Triton in the background. Triton's just watching this. He's probably like me and you right now, just like, yeah. I feel like
Triton has got to be like, Triton has got to be crawling in his skin a little bit. He does not want to get collected into something that may or may not happen here, as both Raven and some idiot get just a touch loose coming out of the hairpin. Some idiot will have DRS through here, and of course I would be cranking up the ERS as well, because why not?
I feel like a kid in a candy store right now. This is awesome.
Oh, they get very close. No touch.
This is extremely awesome racing going on right here at the Circuit of the Americas as they enter the arena once more. Triton standing up the inside of some idiot, but does not have the grip, as now Raven, unchallenged through there, I must say, is leading this pack and field.
Some idiot is on ERS 2 right now, whereas Triton has been kind of bumping between 2 and 3 depending on what's going on around him. He's just trying to keep up with these two, and it's a great idea. When these guys come into the pits, I have a feeling that Triton will want to stay out maybe 1 or 2 laps more, just because Raven and some idiot have fried their tires in their personal battle.
Remember,
Triton might have a chance here.
Triton does have a chance. Remember, some idiot was on some idiot and Raven 3 laps on these tires in their qualifying session, so they're already a bit worn out. So they're already on like around lap 9 laps of tire wear on these tires. Of Triton, that may be why Triton is able to keep up with these guys as they're heading throughout lap 7. As we see some smoke from Raven pop up. Oh, somebody getting extremely loose. Shoots off to the inside of the track. Luckily, he held that. Now he's under pressure from Triton, who definitely has the better exit and DRS, but somebody also has the DRS on Raven right now, but that is not going to go into his advantage right here. Massive lockup from some idiot. We've seen this in Japan as well. Some idiot's pace with Raven. It's just Raven has that pace, and some idiot's just been battling with these internal demons. And Triton, big lockup from him in these low, slow corners.
And I'm kind of wondering if Raven is kind of using his resources to his advantage. Of course, he is the owner of ACR Zack Speed. I'm sorry, just ACR, I should say. That's Zaxby. That's a different series. But I mean, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you call on some of your drivers to help you out a little bit? You know, just to kind of evaluate your setups and things like that. And obviously, Raven has kind of his own style and own way of doing things, but I would be doing that. Whereas Some Idiot doesn't have that. But what Some Idiot has is raw determination and willpower. He races in a couple of series as well, so he's able to test things out before the big one here Sunday evening.
Some of these series do not have the same race weekends as AOR. I must say that. I must clarify that. But he does clock in a lot of practice times around a lot of tracks, I must say. And he takes this very seriously. So Raven leading off Some Idiot by 0.8 seconds. Look at Triton, though. Triton in the back, the top three. We're just keeping our eyes. But look at the background. Kirby Johns and Fluffy Dave. Yep. Kirby Johns on the inside of Fluffy Dave, and it looks like he's going to sink it around the outside. And the number 69 car of Kirby Johns takes P4.
Fluffy Dave just did not have anything to deter that at all. I think Dave might have fried his tires up just a little bit. He'll be coming into the pits here pretty soon. We are on lap 8, so that doesn't surprise me. I think you said, what was it, 8 to 12?
It was. Let's pop up this pit strategy once more. Thanks to my lovely stream deck. But Some Idiot is going to the pits first. On lap 9.
Kind of expected that.
And
kind of expected that.
The pit stop strategy was on 8 to 11, so here he is. He's going to go for the undercut on Raven right now. Some Idiot into pits, going onto these soft tires, which will last him around 16 to 18 laps. And it's a nice, clean getaway out of the pits. Now all eyes are on Raven and Triton. Can Raven push as hard as he can on this in-lap?
Oh, man, Raven has that back end of that Formula 1 car dancing around perfectly, coming through the S's. He has got this setup dialed in perfectly. He's just got to be careful on that right foot gas pedal. We've seen him do that a couple of times where he just fries up those rear tires because he gets too anxious on the gas, just locks it up going into the hairpin. He knows he's got to gap the field a little bit. But I'll tell you what, Triton has been hanging tough. Triton is going to lead.
Triton is hanging on like an 8-second bull ride. And he's definitely closing in. And I'm going to do way more Texas references. Just get
I was going to say, that was a beautiful Texas reference. Well done, sir. But Triton right now, just holding on exactly where he needs to be. He's keeping Raven honest. And he's not pushing the envelope, really. He gets a little close sometimes, but Raven has got his head down. His eyes are forward, and he is on a charge right now. I don't expect him to come into the pits at this particular moment.
You know,
we will see here in just a second.
Raven is going to the pits. That was a late dive. And that is going to help out Some Idiot because he was being held up massive lockup in there. Those tires are absolutely cooking right now. Can have a great Texas barbecue over there, but Raven going into pits for those soft tires. Now all eyes are on Some Idiot, who's down in 7th place right now on these soft tires. Can Some Idiot gain the ground? He can on Raven and make the undercut work. Raven's coming out of the pits right now. Some Idiot coming down the front straight. They're side by side. Raven's just out there, but he does have the speed. Somebody's going to try to hang it around the outside, but Raven is right there on the apex with somebody on the curse. No, he cannot. Raven holds off.
Hang on. Somebody is not giving up on this. He's all over the gearbox of Raven at this point. But we need to mention this. 2SRL Triton is in the lead. Tritonites rejoice.
Triton is definitely one of the fan favorites, and he has the better tires out of all these guys. He can go into the pits, and he may be leading, especially if Some Idiot starts pressuring Raven right here. Raven, massive lockup. That's not going to help his tire, where Some Idiot does have DRS as they're going down this front straight, back straight, massive straight. But Raven does not. Some Idiot is in prime position for P6. There he goes. Ooh, he's not taking it. I am surprised.
I'm not. You know, at this stage of the race, it's not a good idea to really push the envelope. I mean, save the tire as much as you can. Use the slipstream to kind of save a little bit of fuel. I mean, why not? We've seen Some Idiot do this time and time again. Just kind of follow Raven. while in second place, or really any place at this point. It's just what some idiot does. He likes to watch whoever's in front of him to figure out where the weakness is, and if something happens to pop his way, he'll take the pass at that point. And still early. Some idiot just exuding patience at this point. As Triton has come into the pits, he will come in behind these two.
Yeah, Triton was a hoss on the inside of that car. His undercut attempt did not work, or overcut attempt did not work on Raven and some idiot as their tires were going out, as much of the people who play this game and think they know this game think that this is a hot lapping game now in tire where it doesn't matter. It still matters.
Oh yeah, very much so, especially in these shorter races. You really got to nail that pit stop strategy dead on. Right now, though, some idiot and Raven do need to save these tires. I remember you saying that the softs, about 16 to 18 laps. You have more than that to go.
Yes, they do. We have around 17 laps left, so we might have a last lap chaos battle. Hopefully, I don't want to say I want to the drivers are... Oh, Raven's just dropped back very far. Stopped in his tracks just a little bit as time penalties are being handed out left, right, and galore. Muddy Water getting a time penalty. Natarium getting a time penalty. Oh, there's a car spun!
That was Lundqvist, bro.
Oh. I just saw a random car sitting there. I thought it was an Avert, like you see at most of the other tracks, and I completely forgot about it. But you see Raven going extremely wide, all four wheels off the track outside turn 19, just correcting his car as much as he can. But some idiot and ACR Raven is setting the fastest laps as they return to the lead of the race.
Yep, expected that. Ocampo came into the pits. Creamy Johns came into the pits just now. Oh, little sideways there for some idiot.
Some idiot back end swirling out as he chases Raven, who back end you compare to an elegant dancer through these S's, and it may look wild at times, but he's got it under control, as these are some of the top racers in the Americas region, North and South America, and Canada, and Mexico.
All of those are included in those qualifiers.
I know.
Okay.
I just want to include everybody. Because Central America, that's a region.
Everybody's included. Looks like there's a bit of a ghost car there. Kane Jr., Jonathan AI having some issues there.
Why do they keep saying some idiot? Well, that's his name. He is some idiot.
Look at the tower. That's literally his name.
Yeah. And he totally knows that that's his name, and he named himself that. What does that mean? He's an idiot.
Big joke. He's actually a very...
He's joking.
It's a bit of a joke for him. I mean, he's actually a very smart guy and one of the nicest dudes I've ever had the chance to talk to, especially in racing, or simulation racing, I should say. Very knowledgeable, and he's actually quite smart. So, you know, tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah, tongue-in-cheek indeed, but some idiot definitely on a tear chasing after Raven as they go through these S's once more. And I've seen some weird names with drivers just trying to make me say some stupid stuff. I remember Smeeze changed his name to the Soviet Lolbus before. And every time I said it, I couldn't stop laughing. It was for the Russia race.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I got onto him just to say, keep your name simple. Raven and some idiot battling through this hairpin. Now, once again, Raven does not have DRS, but some idiot does. Half a second behind. He will be able to close that gap, but will he go for the move?
Also been keeping my eye on Muddy Waters. Made his way up to 9th. Getting himself around Z3 Mikey. Muddy Waters definitely put in some practice for sure. He's looking very solid. Just in general, obviously trying to put in the best performance that he can, trying to score as many points while the championship starts to wind down. Obviously his home race as well. And I expect big things to come out of Muddy Water here very soon, possibly next season, to make a big run for it.
Well, Muddy Water up 10 places from where he, quote, qualified. He started 19th, and he is now in 9th. And as we have a, what idiot chases after a Raven? This idiot.
Some idiot.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah, some idiot chases after ravens. Usually in Texas, we just shoot them.
I got nothing.
That one was called for.
I mean,
it was appropriate. Oh my goodness.
I'm not saying it wasn't appropriate. I got nothing for that.
Okay, I just saw a bunch of own takes happening, and that was Kane Jr. and Jonathan AI just sitting inside of each other, and ignore that battle.
Yeah, they are ghosted at this point. Yes.
Who are you going to call?
Ghosted cars. Muddy Water and Z3 Mikey have been battling head to toe, but looks like Mikey has fallen off the pace. Oh, I take that back. He's dived into the pits. 10 laps on those super softs. Not bad.
It's a great holding out by Mikey. If he was on 10 laps so far, I think he might have had an issue at the very start and had to go into those pits. Heineken's on the ultra softs for 7 laps, but some idiot and Raven still battling out through the arena right here. Raven holding off some idiot still, which is going to be the story of this entire time. But with 14 laps remaining, it's all about tire life, because these predicted tire strategies said they were only going to last 16 to 18 laps. They went into the pits on lap 9. Somebody hard on the brakes, locking up on the front left side. We hear tires squealing around all over the place as Trite has fallen off the pace. Creamy Johns goes into the pits. Okay, Creamy Johns might have had an issue with his front wing.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I think he did, because he's on 3-lap old soft tires and just went to the pits, so he might have lost his front wing in traffic with Fluffy Dave or Triton. But all eyes are still on the battle for the championship, the lead, the fight for first. It's Some Idiot and Raven once again battling down this half-a-mile long back straight. DRS wide open, and you can definitely tell that they're both eager to go for it. I think Some Idiot did not open up his DRS at all down there. He wants to...
No, he did.
Oh, he did?
He did, yeah, but it makes sense to kind of think that, because it looked like he backed off of the throttle a bit. He's been running around on ERS setting 1, so he doesn't really want to have a pass happen at this point. I think they're just trying to see how long these tires can last more than anything else. And then, of course, you have Triton on 2-lap fresher tires than these two. I'm telling you, it's just going to come down to a battle of attrition at this point. I think we might actually see a 2-stopper.
All right, I'll take you up on that. Well, if there's not a safety car. If there's
not a safety car. Yeah.
If there's a safety car, we would have what happened in Japan, which is utter chaos.
True.
Which is welcome here, because that was not in the books of things that should happen. Which we still have not got yet, by the way.
Yeah, we got to put that together.
Yeah, we do. It would be completely wrong, though, half the time.
Well, I mean, they shouldn't have happened, so of course it's wrong.
Oh, yeah. And we got a retirement of Lundqvist, bro. He's retired for the session. Yellow flag in Sector 3. Money Wire gets not a 3-second time penalty, but Some Idiot, I think, got the better of Raven on that exit. DRS open once again, but I don't think he's even trying. Yellow flags all over the track. We might have a safety car right here. Somebody, oh, he was looking for it. He was wanting, and we're under VSC. We are under a virtual safety car. Oh my God,
you called it.
I am a god.
You called it. This is going to group up the field, obviously. It's going to change the tire strategy. Throw it out the window.
Virtual safety car.
Well, it's still virtual.
Yeah, it doesn't
the tires are going
to field. They have to save.
Well, yeah, you're right. I apologize. Yes, but it's still going to save these tires for a significant amount of time. These guys are not going to be able to push too hard as they make their way around. Now, saving fuel, saving tires.
Does Idiot or Raven go into the pits? No, they aren't. What about Triton? No, he's not.
I doubt it.
They would stay under the Delta, and they would not lose the same amount of time like they would. And it would definitely help them out if they go for another pair of softs, which would completely throw away that attrition that you were talking about. I don't think anyone else is going for that strategy right there, as we are back green and going racing here in Texas. Best state ever, just saying. Hashtag not biased, hashtag facts.
Hashtag FAX, facts.
Facts, member. Somebody losing those back end on the exit of turn 9. That's a very tricky corner. Very easy to lose their back end out there, as we just saw right there. And now Raymond has a bit of a lead to Some Idiot. But Some Idiot, I think he's on full ERS right now. He's definitely charging as much as he can. I see that bar going way down as he's gaining big lockup from him.
He was on ERS 4, not quite all the way through, but like you mentioned, that battery just dying out quick. We shall see what happens here in the next couple of laps. I think Some Idiot's starting to get a little bit antsy just staring at that back end of the Ferrari, which, I mean, who wouldn't mind that? But still, you kind of want to take the lead and see what you can do. I don't think Some Idiot can run away with it, though. And they both know that Triton is still there, still looming behind them. If either one of them makes a mistake, Triton will move up.
Speaking of mistakes, we've seen this happen multiple races a year where Raven picks up a time penalty and the race has been decided by a penalty and Raven pulls off away and it comes to a last lap shootout. We've seen it happen in Singapore. We've seen it happen last race in Japan. We've seen it happen, I believe, in Italy and Spa. But it definitely has decided a lot of race penalties, win or lose races.
We have a suggestion coming in from the chat. I think Some Idiot should pit for ultras. Now that would be cheeky. That would be cheeky, though, because that's something that Some Idiot would try if he thought that it would help him out. I don't think it would help him out, personally, but we have seen stranger things happen, actually.
We have seen some very strange things, and stranger things must happen. I'm totally not quoting that TV show. And oh, here goes Some Idiot. Oh my goodness, he sold a dummy, and if you spot the real dummy, it was me. Trying anything he can to scare off Raven, or just try to force him to make any mistake that he can. Raven, bit of a lockup going into turn 16. So you almost have to have a wide entry through there. So going through that multi-apex corner, Raven's definitely pushing as hard as he can to chase off Some Idiot, but Some Idiot is just sticking to him like glue. We got 10 laps left. Now, if you want to try a different strategy, go on to the Super Sauce right now. They will last to the end. Some Idiot.
Raven lap times, just confirming for you. A 135.002 for ACR Raven as his fastest lap. Yes, he is that fast. He is extremely quick.
We're looking at the fastest laps between Raven and Some Idiot right now. Raven, fast lap 135.002. Some Idiot 135.224. But they are the only drivers except for Mikey in the 135s. Mikey down in 10th right now.
Triton is a 135.3.
I am blind.
He said matter-of-factly.
Well, it's true. I do wear glasses.
Fair enough.
As Some Idiot and Raven battling out through the arena. Raven, another big lockup in turn 15. Some Idiot taking the inside line right there, trying to find any ground that he can to shoot up and on the inside of Raven. But as they battle through the multi-apex corner, they just have to keep each other close in mind. They go onto the brakes and through turn 20 and down for another lap and another battle onto Phil.
I've been kind of keeping my eye on Muddy Water throughout the whole race. He was actually catching Creamy Johns there for a little while, down in 9th place in the battle for 8th. It looks like Creamy Johns has decided to kind of put the pedal to the metal, if you will, and is starting to gap Muddy Water again. Muddy Water, trying to keep up, has started to lock up tire and make a couple of mistakes here and there. So I don't think that's really going to amount to much, at least here in the next couple of laps. It'll all come down to if Creamy Johns can keep up this steady pace that he seems to have. But Muddy Water putting in quite the performance. He's up 10 places still. He did start 19th because he came into the race a little bit late. That was announced by him. And yeah, it's just something that kind of happens. Muddy Water's been putting in all these crazy performances. Definitely not buttering him up here at this point. He's actually really just putting in some serious speed performances. He's showing that he's there. He just needs to start nailing down the qualifying times and just find a little more consistency. It's just something to work on for next year. Oh, there was somebody off the track there. I think that was Manku.
Yeah, that was the exact penalty it was. And I can tell you why Muddy Water has fallen off on the back of Creamy Johns. Look at the tires. Muddy Water, 9 laps, as Creamy Johns, 5 laps of
that
tire
would do
wear.
it.
And we had all 3 yellow flags go live, but no safety car. But I was about to say it, but I'm not gonna risk my luck right there.
Don't do it.
I'm not gonna do it.
Don't do it.
We don't want a. Now, do we really want a repeat of Japan?
You notice I'm hesitant.
I'm hesitating too. I'm thinking in my head. I'm like, yes. And the other side of my brain.
Look, all right, let's just say from an excitement standpoint, that would be fantastic. I don't think
it would be fun.
I think we'd much rather see high quality driving more than anything else, which is something that both Raven, Summit, and really let's put in Triton and Fluffy Dave in that. These guys have been going absolutely bonkers since the pit stop 12 laps ago for some idiot.
Oh, that was not a good exit out of that corner for some idiot right there. He was still at DRS so he could close up that gap. But with 7 laps remaining, it's becoming crunch time for some idiot. And for Raven, because Raven still has to keep pushing to keep some idiot behind him. But he has to also keep his car legal. And that's been the crutch for Raven this entire time, is he's been having a habit of just extending these track limits, which he did not have a track limits penalty for in Japan. He got that for crossing the pit line and speeding. You see some idiot going extremely wide outside turn 19. That is definitely a warning right there. As Manku has retired from the session. Yellow flag in sector 3. That brought out a safety car last time. It did not this time. Somebody hit hard on the brakes. Definitely overcooking those tires and brakes. Heineken 3-second time penalty. But the 2 drivers I know that do not have a time penalty, Raven and some idiot. These guys have been having a fast and clean race as they battle on through these S's right here.
And I'm pretty sure Triton does not have a penalty either. So the top 3 have been keeping it clean. I'm fairly certain I haven't seen a penalty for Fluffy Dave pop up either, but just about everyone else has had a bit of a penalty. So this track definitely starting to reach out and bite everyone.
Look at the leaders. 0.6, 2.5. Fluffy Dave, 22 seconds behind this leading pack. That's insane. These 3 leaders, Triton, Idiot, Raven, all these guys, been on a tear. Somebody had taken a very interesting line through turn 15, wanted to go for the shorter attack on 15 and go for the outside move and try to get the better exit. So coming up on to Heineken, I believe, who gets out of their way much faster, but he might have gotten into Raven's way, hopefully holding him up if you were some idiot rooting for him. And some idiot opens up DRS as they go uphill. I see him move down the inside right here. We've seen it before, but they're just keeping it cautious through here, keeping it clean, keeping it nice and tasty through turn 2. And I've had this massive grin on my face. I know y'all can't see it, but this is great.
No, we can hear it though. Don't worry, man. We're right there with you.
How do you hear him smile?
It's the way you talk. See how I sound a little different? I'm totally grinning right now. But then if I take it off my face like this, it sounds a lot more intense.
Well, we would definitely love some intensity right now with 5 laps to go. Take it away, Ninja.
I mean, ACR Raven just holding station at this point. We still got Triton looming in the distance, although he has been falling back here just a little bit. I have a feeling Triton might be trying to save a little bit of fuel. Lock up there by some idiot. These inside tires have been taking a beating, especially that inside left. Coming into the hairpin and in a couple of other places, you do have to kind of drag the brakes around this place and turn on, kind of have some engine braking in action as well as they make their way through Stadium and around what I like to call the sweeper. Coming towards the end of the lap here, 4 to go. Coming soon as we have a Kane Jr. that is ghosted at this point.
Kane Jr. going for that 2-stop that you were talking about.
I think he had a problem before, though, so that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. On board that front wing is so idiots. He's just trying to find any way that he can to close in on Raven. But I don't think he's... I know he's got the pace. I know he's got it in him. He just has to lay down all the stops and the cards and just play them all right now and just pass him. I think he's banking on Raven getting a time penalty.
Banking, or maybe he just can't catch him.
Well,
I mean, there is that possibility. I mean, some idiot does have that 1 lap older tire. And, I mean, he's been working the ERS, been doing everything that he can, but it's just not working. Raven has been steadily pulling away over the last couple of laps, and I think Raven still feels like he needs to be on a charge. It makes sense for Raven to try to get a little bit of a lead, though, trying to put a bit of a gap so that some idiot doesn't have DRS anymore. That makes sense, but I don't know. You can never really tell what's going through these two heads, especially as it comes up on the closing laps. We're about to have 3 to go here, Austin.
I'm looking at the back left tire of some idiot, and it might seem to be very high on the wear side.
Back left? Yeah, that makes sense.
You see the back end of some idiot just hanging around, and he's losing a lot of ground to Raven. And that makes sense because some idiot is on the older tires, and he's now a second behind of Raven, as Raven's got a bit of traffic ahead of him. But the amount of drifting that somebody is doing indicates on how little grip that he has. And this might come into the attrition battle, and somebody is definitely losing that fight. But if you're just looking at that back end, it's just not looking up to par like it used to be.
You hit that performance cliff, which is something Raven's going to have to deal with here pretty quick. I assume probably in the next lap. So then some idiot will already be used to it.
Massive lock by Raven.
Yeah, that was big. But that said, I mean, some idiot could potentially have a little bit of an advantage just in the fact that he'll already be used to it. He's already expecting that back end to start dancing around more than it normally does. Whereas Raven does like to have that tail sort of go around a little more than just about everyone else on the grid. So once those tires let go, Raven's going to have his hands full trying to keep the car under control. As another ghost car.
What?
It's Jonathan AI. We've been having a lot of connection issues for some reason.
No, it's just been Jonathan Kane. They've just been inside each other most of this time, and then when pits happened, they separated. But some idiot has closed up on Raven. I'm guessing Raven found that performance clip, or maybe it was a lap car. But some idiot has found new life in these worn tires, which we've seen him do time and time again. As we got 2 laps to go, big lockup from Raven. His back end kicked out right there. But another 3 all sectors yellow flag. Not a safety car going to come out, because I don't see anyone retiring from there. But those 3 yellow flags definitely very tasty for a safety car, but it's not going to happen. With 2 laps remaining, it's going to be a race to the finish. Sorry, no Japan repeat. That was a one-off. Keep it a one-off. But this is a classic in all other turns of pure racing from start to finish, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be let up.
Really doesn't. We should mention Triton has gained just a touch of time, but he's still just too far back to take advantage of anything going on in front of him. Triton probably just didn't quite have the setup for these worn tires. Gotta kind of expect that. I mean, you do need a very stable car. That said, Some Idiot and Raven do like to have that back end hang out a little bit, and that does come into play here at a track like this where you have a lot of switchbacks and you're constantly changing direction. That back end, being able to move around just a little bit in a controllable fashion does help that turn in as Muddy Water gets a fastest lap on the Ultra Softs.
134.289, great lap by Muddy Water. We're flying down this front straight with 2 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. Coming up, Phil.
The lock up there.
Few requests to go into cockpit view, but I prefer the television views until I get a very bad camera angle of these races.
Somebody hasn't quite closed up the gap just yet, but I have had his telemetry up. He's trying to save the ERS as much as possible. He's been trying to just keep Raven as close as he can. I assume DRS will come into play here. He's starting to close it up, braking late and moving down the backstretch. Got a lot of time to do this. Hopefully he didn't cook those rear tires too much.
A massive send down into the turn 11 hairpin by Some Idiot right there. This is, he had a camera on his back right wheel. Don't know why that's there, but it might be foreshadowing something as Italy forces a 5-second stop-go penalty with 2 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. Buckle your seatbelts because we're in for another 1-lap shootout between these guys. Not my safety car, but this is natural. It's going to come down to the very last lap between Some Idiot and Raven. They fly through Haas Hill right now. And through turn 20. Here we go. Ninja, I hope you're ready. I hope you are hashtag AOR hyped because I certainly am.
I've gone through my second hype energy at this point. I am super pumped. I'm ready. Let's go. Some Idiot, it's time to send.
I'm actually on one. That intro just had me from the start.
Some Idiot trying to make his way through the S's. I'm actually on board with him right now. He's definitely pushing as hard as he can. He's got it on the limit. Raven has a little bit of a better line, but he's going to get slowed up here. And now Some Idiot might have a chance to close it up here. He's been super good under braking, but Raven has just cranked up the notch.
Some Idiot has fallen back by a second. Raven was waiting for it. I think Raven was waiting for Some Idiot to try to make a move, and on the very last lap, Raven has just said, goodbye, caca, I'm out of here.
Yeah, he's been saving the ERS for a lot longer than I thought he was. Raven has just been cruising at this point. Some Idiot has been pushing for so long to try to get on the back end of Raven, but Raven has been saving the ERS. He's been doing everything he can to gap here in the final sector of this beautiful racetrack here at COTA.
This is certainly my favorite racetrack in the world. Sorry, Texana. But one last time around Haas Hill they go. ACR Raven leads the championship by 20 points. Correction, make that 28 points, and he is your winner here at COTA.
Some Idiot coming in a very solid second, and let's celebrate Triton grabbing that third place, usually occupied by Fluffy Dave, but they have left Dave in the dust by 30-some-odd seconds. Dave just not able to hold on at this point as he's about ready to cross the finish line now.
Fluffy Dave coming across the line. I'm on board with Campo and Tesla because there's still battles happening around the track. Kind of. This is the battle for P5. One last time across the line. I don't think there's going to be much room through here. And after a bit of penalties, Fluffy Dave hops up to P4. Ocampo takes P5. Tezu takes P6. But it is Raven increasing his lead to 28 points as they go to Mexico. The championship fight still alive and well. here in the Americas League. But it's Raven taking the win.
We might have a bit of a race here between Mikey and Muddy Water. They've been dueling back and forth. Muddy Water going for the fastest lap while he can. He goes way too wide for that.
They got the final corner for these two. And it's going to be Muddy Water up 9 places from when he started. So definitely a driver of the day to keep in mind. Who was your driver of the day, Ninja?
I'd have to go with Triton. Personally. I mean, this beautiful drive, grab that 3rd place. Well done by him. Look at him on the podium.
It is wonderful to see a Haas on the podium here at COTA. It just brings a massive American smile to my face as it's Raven taking the win as they spray the champagne. Massive smiles all around, massive race all around. And I believe everyone's very happy about that as we are heading on to Mexico next week. That was weird. XP. Well, hey, you did a
That
good job.
said, ACR Raven taking 1st place with Some Idiot and Triton grabbing 2nd and 3rd. Fluffy Dave with the 4th. Ocampo and Tezu hard fought for 5th and 6th place. Creamy Johns knocking it down just a bit to 7th. Goodbye Biceps grab and 8th. Z3 Mikey and Muddy Water have been dueling for 9th and 10th place, with Z3 Mikey coming out on top of that, with Max KZR Racing, Notarium, Heineken, Kane Jr., Jonathan AI, Italy Force, Manku rounding out the finishers. Then Lundquist Bro, Intergalactic Gentleman did not start the race due to his fever. I hope you're feeling better, man. But what a race here at COTA. Beautifully done by all participants. And of course, making sure to keep it as clean as possible. Lots of runoff area here to make sure that you don't get ran into or get in the way of anyone.
Let's head into the interview rooms after these short messages. We are here in the interview room. We got Raven, we got Triton, we got Some Idiot. How was that race, everybody?
It was pretty fun for me.
Alright.
I don't know about them.
Raven, how was that race for you? You were under pressure by Some Idiot this entire time. Started from P2, started behind him, but after the pit strategy, you were out in front of him. And you two were just battling this entire time. How was that?
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty stressful race. I actually would have got pole, but had a giant screen freeze coming out of the second to last corner, so, which is a bit of a shame, but, just still kind of like last week, just relieved that still managed, even though a stressful situation, still managed to get the win. Yeah, I gotta give it up to Triton though. I mean, that's like a legit pace. He did a really good job today. And, yeah, Some Idiot had problems with his pedals, and I had screen freezes constantly, quali in the race, and so it was just stressful the entire time, I think, for all of us, but at least we made it to the end in one piece.
Speaking of one piece, tire wear, was that coming into an issue in those closing laps?
Absolutely, for me. So I've been having issues with my pedals since, I don't know, I want to say like Spa, I think. I've really noticed it. I've been doing my damnedest trying to clean them, and the issue, I was having two issues actually. One, my brakes, when I was on the brakes, my throttle would drag, just very slightly, but that's why I was basically going deep and locking up everywhere, because the throttle was just stuck at like 2 or 3% input, but I couldn't do anything. I've been trying to clean them all weekend, trying to make them work. And then at the end, I actually had to adjust my throttle sensitivity in the control schemes because I'm trying to work around the throttle blipping issue I'm having. And I did that, but the side effect was every time I pick up the throttle, I would have too much input because I'm used to really feeling for the throttle, and since I had to adjust the sensitivity to make it so it wouldn't blip, I kept wheel spinning. Man, it's disappointing.
Ninja, anything you want to say to Raven and Idiot?
Honestly, sounds like you guys were having a blast out there. I was saying you guys had smiles under your helmets, but it actually kind of sounds like it was just super stressful in general. And that pass, though, had to have been hairy, especially with all those issues going on.
When I remember, there was like four times.
At least. There was a pass for the lead going into the hairpin.
Oh.
I can only imagine what's going through you guys' heads.
Alright, well, let's talk to Triton. I believe everyone's driver of the day. Triton, how was that race for you?
Well, it was not as stressful as those guys. So I had like a fair amount of opportunities, I think, in the beginning when they were battling and kind of slowing each other down, especially through the S's, to actually do something. But to be fair, like my battle's not really with them, and I didn't really. It's kind of like Singapore. I didn't expect to be this fast here, or have the pace I had. But I was just kind of focusing on avoiding getting penalties, and because I'm kind of prone to getting penalties, especially on this track, and just kind of managing the tires. And I held a decent amount of ERS towards the end because I was sort of hoping that like those two would begin to fight again, and then something would happen and I'd be able to make my way into the battle once again, like right at the end. But I don't really, I'm not too bothered with it, so I'm really happy with third. But yeah.
Well, let me say this: you did one hell of a job, just like in Singapore.
Thank you.
I know I was telling you that already, but you did one hell of a job.
Yeah, it's good to have the podium because I think in Russia I probably should have been on the podium, but I had wing damage, and the same thing in last week in Japan. I damaged my wing fighting some of the back markers and completely threw it away with the safety car, so it's good to get a podium again finally.
Ninja, anything you want to say before we head off to Mexico?
I think we've covered it, honestly. Well done, all three of you guys. I thought it was going to be a bit of a hairy race, and tires management was definitely going to come in, especially when everybody pitted a lot earlier than I thought really anybody would. But yeah, well done to all three of you.
Thank you.
Well, congrats to all three of our podiums. Thank you, everybody who turned in. On to Mexico, where the battle between Some Idiot and Raven is just 28 points between them. We'll see you guys next week. My name's Austin Knight. Y'all have a good night.